Welcome back, guys, to another episode of the Briefcase in the Barn, a Christmas special. We've got some great topics to talk about today. We're started off with talking about the Christmas traditions and rules. Then we move off talking about the Bondi beach shooting and anti-Semitism, along with Candace Owens and her involvement in that whole debate. And we briefly touch on the Alberta UCP vote on late-term abortions. Then we move on to BC's $150 million budget to pay for the land that the courts say they need to give back, and that whole fiasco. Briefly talk about the new Reformed Bookstore coming to town here, and then end off with the debate of having women in ministry. It's a fun chat. Hope you enjoy it, and let's get into it. Welcome back to another episode of the Briefcase in the Barn. Christmas Eve special, a series of the Furious Show where we talk about business, life, Christianity, and more.
Thanks for the card, buddy.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Do you want me to read it out loud?
It's up to you. I wouldn't. You probably won't. You're going to want me to edit it a whole bunch of pieces out again.
No, I won't. Thanks for the business card.
It's a magnet.
Fridge magnet.
Fridge magnet. Fridge magnet.
I'll read it later.
What are we talking about?
Did we read the notes? Your study notes?
We got a bunch of study notes.
Oh, have we?
Feels like you were built to podcast, Matt.
I don't think so.
No?
This is a new world for me.
This is your second podcast.
This
You
is
had
your
your own
second, yeah, you
podcast.
had your own.
People can look this up. What's it called? Super Keen?
Yeah,
Yeah.
super keen.
Yeah.
My wife thought it was too controversial.
Actually? That's not why you
She's-
quit. You guys just don't have any staying
No,
power.
we just got bored of it. It was our COVID thing.
It was fun.
It's
I
not
really
on
enjoyed
Spotify,
it.
though, right?
I
It's
enjoyed it.
only on Apple Podcasts, not on Spotify?
I think it was Apple, yeah.
I listened to
I
it
actually
faithfully
don't
every
know
week.
where it is. I think it's Apple because we both have iPhones. So, anyway.
You guys got any Christmas Eve plans? Oh, sorry, we're talking about something. My brain went squirrel.
Oh,
It's
sorry.
quite common.
Do you?
Yeah.
Like big plans? What are you doing?
Not big plans. Marlene Hokie.
Nice.
Probably don't know her.
Don't know.
Is that the lady I met for the other time?
Yeah, we're going to her at her place, like a 70-year-old widow.
Good cook.
She's having a bunch of people over.
Oh, nice.
And then Christmas Day, we're
Old people
Tomorrow.
do Christmas well.
tomorrow. We'll just
She's
have
a nice
just our
lady.
family.
Yeah. That's
She's
what
a
I'm
nice
saying.
lady.
Good, man. We got Christmas Eve. We're not really, Fiona and I aren't really able to rest until after Christmas Eve. Because we got like,
All kinds
it's
of church
flat
stuff.
out, man. Not just the church stuff, which is the normal stuff, but also like this time of year for the army is crazy. Like, just we're constantly going.
The major just gives direction, no?
Yeah, right. I was just I sent you guys a photo of me standing on a kettle. No response. You guys don't respond to my text.
I didn't even know what it meant.
No, I was just saying, hey, look, I'm on a kettle. Which it was, a sheepish way of saying, hey, why don't you volunteer for a Christmas
Oh,
kettle?
I hate passive
Yeah, I
aggressive
know.
behavior. If you need help, just say, Gary, can you please come help me? I'm sick of standing here. Just
Covenant
be honest.
for conflict.
No, I'm not
All right,
passive
that's fine.
aggressive.
That's
No,
fair.
I
There's
ask
lots of
for help.
opportunities to volunteer for a kettle at Christmas. If you want to stand on the kettle for 2 hours, lots of
What
opportunities.
if we just stand beside it?
Yeah, you could.
You don't need to say much, eh? Most people just give out of guilt when they see a poor sap
No,
like you
not true.
standing there.
Not true. People who are most engaging and smiling and
Get
wishing
the most
Merry
money?
Christmas.
Yeah.
And if you sing carols, way more giving.
We could all sing together, the
Easy.
Three Stooges here, man, and
Easy.
we would just rake in the money for the
do an
nonprofit.
episode beside that.
No, we don't need. We just go do it. We'll just go sing
You
one
should-
I
time.
did
We all
last
love
year.
singing.
I did last year.
I love singing. Carols,
Old
everyone
hymns.
appreciates
Can we
it.
sing old hymns?
Well,
Because that's really what we enjoy singing together.
Can you
they're
do
not
it?
really appropriate for
hymn-
Christmas.
What carols are you singing?
Jingle bells is not. a
No.
carol.
Joy to the world will come, all you faithful.
Nice.
Hark
Sing
the
it.
heraldings.
Nice.
Come on.
Joy to the world,
enough.
the Lord is come. Let earth receive her King.
You have a beautiful
Everyone
voice.
loves it.
You have a beautiful voice, man.
Thanks, buddy. I appreciate that.
You guys
It's God-given.
You guys do gifts on Christmas morning?
Yeah. So we'll have Christmas Eve service finished that night, and then Fiona and I will officially be off, which will be great. We'll have some time, and then we'll get up Christmas morning, have some gifts. Kids usually get up at around 6 or so.
You, Gary?
Get off your phone, Gary.
Getting inundated with.
Those things are
Feels-
controlling, eh?
It's controlling my
It's
life.
ridiculous.
Lockbox.
I
If you
feel
give
like
them
I'm sure-
control, it's a choice.
It's a
I
choice.
don't
I just
know.
watched- I just
Don't think
watched-
so.
I just watched episode 7 of Freedom Session today, and it talks about we have a choice. You choose whatever we do.
Instagram or Meta. My son just deleted all of his like Instagram accounts, and he wants to get off
Snapchat.
Yeah, everything, because he just read the new terms of use, the service agreement with Meta, and they've ramped up everything. Like, it's nefarious. It's so invasive. They tell you what they're doing. They can take.
Nobody cares, right?
Oh, it's
people would sign their life away to use the
like
social
all
media
your contacts, all your credit card details. Like, it's there. They can use anything, and you agree to it. And then they say your camera is essentially open turf for us. We can use it whenever, whether you want us to or not. We can just take pictures. We can take video.
You agree to it.
Was that? Yeah, if you agree to their terms to use it. Anyway, it was scary. It was crazy, man. And my son was like, "Forget this," and he deleted everything. So he's off it.
Christmas plans, yeah. A couple gatherings, I'm sure, with my in-laws, my outlaws.
Do gifts?
And others. My in-laws will for sure do gifts. Yeah, I'll get Christmas presents from them.
So it's only you and Marie that won't give
gifts to our kids, yeah. Right. And even they'll get a few little things. What started that? Our kids, because of our... How much do I say here? How do I say this the right way? Our children, because of their life experiences, some of them do not do well at all with gift giving. And it causes huge anxiety, and it causes huge conflict after.
Competition and stuff?
Competition between siblings. There's siblings of ours that have had horrible traumatic experiences with previous parents' situations. So for me, everybody would agree in general rule that Christmas is too commercialized. I feel it's too commercialized. I despise it. I think we all agree with that. I despise it. And I think that, like, even last year, we didn't give any Christmas gifts at all. And we had, I can't remember if it was Christmas morning or when it was, or the night or the day before. We just sat the kids down, and I'd written a letter to the kids that the older ones read, and it was basically like, "Hey, we're not doing Christmas gifts, but we're taking you on a little trip." So we took them on a trip, and this year we took them on a trip to Toronto. Right. So it's not like our kids are not hard done by.
No.
You know, I mean, like.
But you've explained why this is not happening.
And I think, does a kid ever get it? Of course, like, to some degree, not. I mean, every kid has a different level of maturity, but.
I didn't grow up with Christmas gifts ever.
Yeah, but that's obvious.
Seriously?
Yeah, look at them.
No Christmas gifts?
No, I mean, a majority of people I grew up with didn't have good Christmas
No
gifts.
giving at all?
No, nothing.
What about that little orange with the candle in it? Is that Dutch? What's it called?
Are you mixing up your Sinterklaas and your
what's that thing?
Sinterklaas and Halloween, or what?
December 5th, there's Sinterklaas.
Did you do that?
We did a gift exchange, yeah.
Oh, so you did do.
So is that the orange with the candles?
Christmas Day was nothing to do with gifts or anything else like that. It was just go to church twice. That's it.
Okay. Is it you guys that do the orange thing with the candle coming out of it?
No.
The orange, the fruit, the piece of fruit, or no? I thought it was Dutch. Maybe it was the Danish.
It was funny. I had my sister over yesterday. She's Down syndrome, and she was showing me some pictures of some wreaths she was making for on the centerpieces and stuff like that. I'm like, "Are you sure that's allowed?" She goes, "Yeah, that's allowed." I'm like, "What about my tree, my Christmas tree?" No, that's not allowed.
That's where they drew the line.
That's not allowed.
That's where they drew the line. I mean, that's the part that I've always drawn. So drawing the line in the sand. This the spot that it's drawn. I'm like, I can't.
So I don't know if it matters.
The hair
growing up, if you had a Christmas tree, you weren't saved. Like,
that's a fact. Well, you laugh, but I mean, that's a fact.
Okay.
Serious. Like,
it was too. You don't even get it, right? You're short circuiting as you're sitting here.
But Christmas, like, wreaths are okay. Christmas dinners,
gift giving, maybe.
That's edgy.
I mean, lots of families don't. And you would agree with the reason people don't give gifts, right? You would see the behind.
The consumerism stuff.
You would see the point of, now again, some people would turn it right around on me.
But why the Christmas tree? Why is that so bad? Because it's German?
I don't
What? I don't know.
The Dutch have things against the German. That was over in the 40s.
And lights in the house. Lights in the house and Christmas tree. That was like
hard no.
Full stop. You would get a visit from the elders, for sure.
Well, because it's Christmas. Like, welcome! Come on in!
You could have a Christmas tree in July. You just couldn't have one in December.
Oh,
it's the time of the year that got you.
All right. What weird stuff did we do? Christmas? I don't know. New Year's is pretty funny in Newfoundland. I mean... Everybody goes out. I don't think I remember growing up, except for the town. The town would have like a little fireworks show. But growing up, nobody really shot off fireworks at New Year's. everyone just goes out on the deck and just fires off a shotgun.
That's
like,
awesome.
And the rule
you
was...
you have to go to Holland for New Year's Eve.
Is that right?
World War III. It is amazing.
We could start that here too. We were thinking of doing fireworks.
We're going to do it.
Well, it's way better doing it in New Year's than in July.
They'd be at your door real quick, start firing off shotguns.
I don't know.
You don't think so? Here? You don't think so?
Anyway,
try it.
We didn't get a good Christmas though as Canucks fans. Quinn Hughes got traded. What's with that?
Oh, I could not believe it.
What's that?
He's like absolute superstar. I mean, he wasn't going to resign.
Do you know who Quinn Hughes is? Do you follow hockey?
No.
He was the Canucks captain. We don't talk about sports a lot on this podcast.
No,
you know what? You don't talk.
We could.
We tried
you
to
love
talk
sports?
I
Yeah.
love sports.
We
Yeah,
tried
I
to
do
talk
too.
about wrestling.
Yeah, that's not a sport, man. That's acting. When are you going to talk about the movie business?
Did you even look up Macho Man Randy Savage? Did you even watch the video I sent?
Click on the link. I did not know what foul part of the internet it would lead me to.
No,
I was
it's
not willing to take that risk.
It's just you'd be better people for it.
I wonder how many people have listened to this.
I hope
Googled
so.
Randy
I
Savage.
hope they've
Nobody.
looked up just Macho Man Randy Savage. It's hilarious. Anyway,
I was talking to our buddy Chris yesterday. I think we all know our buddy Chris. He was saying that the two guys that got traded for, two of the three guys that got traded for
Quinn Hughes
are Christians.
no way.
Oh, wow.
He told me to have him on the podcast.
Even the young buck, the 24, the D-man?
I'm not sure. I didn't look it up. But
For the Canucks?
yeah.
Yeah, they got three guys back in a trade for their superstar. Best player, arguably one of the best players in the league.
Yeah.
Best player the Canucks have ever had, for sure. You don't care. You don't care.
The last time I followed anything to do with hockey, like you were talking about, Pavel Bure.
Okay, I love Pavel Bure too as a kid. That's when I was really passionate about hockey.
Doug Gilmour.
In the 90s.
Like these guys.
Yeah.
Funny story.
Wendell Clark.
Yeah.
So I remember
Exactly. That's right.
funny story when I was like 9 years old and I was having my like issues and my big blow ups. I was
Talks about as if the issue stopped after you're 9 years old. I love it. Back when I was having big issues.
Okay, that's fair enough. That's great. That's fair.
That's awesome.
I was listening to the Canucks in the playoffs one year. I don't know who they were playing against. This would have been like 2004, 2003. Either way, one time they scored. I think it was that black guy that played with the Sedins. What's his name?
Brashear?
No, Anson Carter.
Okay.
Way back in the day. Well, he scored some goal, whatever, and I just I was listening to it on the radio, and I ran out of my room, and I was screaming for joy. And my parents came running in because they thought that something was going sideways, and no, the Canucks just scored.
Okay.
And good memory.
Nice.
You don't follow sports other than WWE?
Nah, when I went to Australia, I got into Aussie rules footy, but I didn't really keep track of Canadian sports while I was gone. So I was there for 13 years, and I kind of lost track of everything. And then when I came back, because I used to be a Toronto Maple Leafs fan.
That's embarrassing. I would not have admitted that. Cannot stand Toronto.
Anyway, I've never kept up with it since.
Hey, you were in Australia for 13 years. Does that the shooting this week at Bondi Beach, does that hit you a little harder?
Yeah.
Was that close to where you would have lived? Or?
Yeah. No, it wasn't close to where we would live. It was an hour's flight away.
Okay.
It'd be essentially like going to Alberta.
I remember being there for work and being at that beach.
Brutal.
And
Fiona took it really hard.
Oh, it's crazy.
Like the Bondi Beach too, which is essentially like, Australia's Disneyland. Like that's the kind of
I don't understand any of the culture
behind it.
They're a big nature attraction. Like it's like
it's not a nature. It's just like it's just the free loving surfer. Central? Well, it's just it's Aussie culture.
What was going on exactly? That all these.
So there was a big Hanukkah event.
Okay, it was a Jewish event where they were literally. He knew they were all going to be.
Two Muslim guys just went and start firing.
A father and a son, and then just went there with their rifles, and they have super strict gun laws out there already. Because I remember selling to them. And we actually sold, and we sold more to Australia.
Some of the strictest gun laws on the planet.
Yeah, because we sold more to Australia than we did to Canada because they basically only allowed bolt actions. And so basically all the money goes into just that format. So they went in there and
just let loose. So I found it very interesting. In the last week, I was in the U.S. and I was at a farm picking up cows. And a guy had a holster and had like a pistol on his hip. And
open carry
in Washington State, literally anywhere other than I don't think in nightclubs, a couple of places. Maybe we talked about this already. Now I'm having deja vu that we talked about this last week in the podcast, but we talked about exactly this. And I said to them, I'm assuming in Whatcom County where we are, there's no theft. No, there's no theft. The farmyards are safe. Nobody's robbing a gas station in Sumas because there's somebody in the gas station that has a gun. you're risking your life.
Sure, yeah.
So it's fascinating how we get into this gun debate. And I mean, obviously it's a very political and heated topic and people have different views, but I just think, man, if mentally sane, emotionally well-rounded people have guns in a society,
it's not the issue.
That's not the issue. Like, how can people be so blind to be like, eradicate the guns? No, the wackos and the criminals will always be armed. That's just the way it's going to be.
Their guns. I mean,
it's brutal. Like, they'll find something else.
Very frustrating.
They'll make and that's what they're talking about now. Already, they're just like, we need stricter gun laws. You already have some of the strictest gun laws. And
they are in Australian culture. They're literally bringing that up in this issue.
Yeah, they're already saying it. We need stricter gun laws. I was just watching yesterday, Albanese, whatever his name is, the Prime Minister of Australia, saying, we need to.
Those are the real criminals.
The politicians.
Yeah.
It's brutal. It's brutal how much they've let slide. And the Jewish community down there has been warning them for ages. Just like, this is getting nuts.
Well,
and you're doing nothing about it.
A couple of weeks ago at the Sydney Harbour Beach, they were having this huge, gas the Jews.
It's crazy. Things. It's crazy.
And you know who Novak Djokovic is?
Yeah.
So he was that tennis player that a couple of years ago was denied entry into Australia because he didn't get vaccinated.
Yeah.
They kicked him out. Like that, he was unsafe to come into Australia.
Yeah.
But they're letting all these radicals come in, these crazies, and or
worse, they're radicalized while they're in Australia.
Yeah, that too. Yeah. So you
brutal.
You minister to a lot of the Muslim community.
Tons. Yeah.
In Australia. Right?
We had a really great relationship with them. Yeah. In Australia. Yeah. Was there a question?
I was thinking about one, then I forgot it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we got to know a lot of the Muslim people. They're beautiful people, rich culture, but like, here's the weird problem, right? If you're going to obey what Muhammad, who claimed to be a prophet, says and does, or emulate him, you're going to be a terrible person. Like, because he wasn't a good man. Like,
he slept with little kids.
It was awful. Everything he did, like he murdered, he pillaged, he raped, all kinds of different stuff. But they've not had, so like Christianity back in the Dark Ages, we were burning witches and all that kind of stuff, right? Like, but we had a Reformation, we had an Enlightenment that's happened, and across centuries that happens. Islam hasn't had one.
Yeah.
Right. So they've not. So Saudi Arabia is actually becoming very tame. So they're largely Muslim, and the UAE and stuff like that. They're almost all claiming to be a Muslim populace, but they're believe it or not, they're starting to question. Do we really need to be taking these texts literally? Can we like find a way to spiritualize the lesson, which is what we did centuries ago. So now we've got a different kind of faith than we did in the Dark Ages. A better one.
Dumb question.
Well, they couldn't read back then either.
Yeah, well, they were just believing priests. The same thing, these guys. They're just believing imams. However...
No, they can read it for themselves.
Most don't.
It's the Quran, right?
The Quran is the Islamic sacred text.
Is that Muhammad? Did he write the Quran?
Who wrote the Quran? That's up for debate.
Actually?
Okay. Well, the claim is that he was illiterate. He claimed to be a prophet of God. He was illiterate, and he wrote the Quran, and that's their big miracle. But, some of the hadiths, which are like commentary, essentially, you could draw a question to that. Did he actually write it? Because the Quran itself is a hadith, which means like it's a recitation. So he was basically saying all these things, and eventually it was documented. But their history is so convoluted with war. And
what do you think about the anti-Semitism that's like keeps coming up everywhere, getting worse and worse? Like, where do you think that's
around the world, or just in the Muslim community?
Both.
So not all Muslims are anti-Semitic, but I think, in my opinion, when I've read the Quran is anti-Semitic. So that's just my opinion, but it's problematic if you can't get past what it says literally. Like, if you can't, make a metaphor out of something that you're reading in the Quran, like it's
pretty dark.
Yeah, like you could camp out on the Old Testament verses that are pretty brutal and become an awful person, right? But we have the grace of Jesus coming as a redeemer and saying, look, like, none of these things are the way you live. But like I said, Islam doesn't have that relief.
That reminds me of a book. I don't know if you've ever heard of it, but there was a guy, he wrote a couple books and I read them. It was A.J. Jacobs, popular probably 10 or 15 years ago. They were New York Times bestsellers. And one of his books was, and I think maybe he was Jewish, but he wrote The Year of Living Biblically. And he took all texts from the New
643
Testament.
laws.
He wrote, he had clothes and food and wrote about it, right?
Yeah.
Anyways, interesting read.
How we grew up, they would love that book.
Well, that's I wouldn't say that per se. I think if you go into I think if you don't read the Bible in its entirety, you're in deep trouble. And people love to grab verses of whatever they're doing and to justify what they're doing. Right?
And if you don't let the New Testament wrap it all up, you're just going to...
What about anti-Semitism in general? Like, do you think there's Satan behind this and like pushing it? Because it's popping up everywhere.
The devil loves death. He loves it.
But also, do you think because the Jewish people are God's chosen people that he hates them more, and like he's doing more to like cause havoc and destroy them?
I don't know. That's a theological question. There's lots of different bins and avenues. So some would say that because the Jews rejected Christ, they're reaping, the result of that. Some people would say that because they're the chosen people of God, they're reaping the result of that. Some people would say that because they have, let's say reclaimed, or it was the land of Israel was given back to them, which is the occupation argument, that's causing hatred and vitriol toward the Jews. But I don't think so. I largely think that the Jews have always suffered, and because they're called by God's name, whether they're good or bad is irrelevant.
All right.
I'm going to ask another question. So, like, I'm reading through the Old Testament now, and I mean, this is a Bible study rather than a discussion. Well, I'm just got a question for you related to it, and this is like very open ended. And
I'll try my best, buddy.
Like you read about how God talks to all the Israelites and and there again, I'm not going to quote it properly. I don't have the text in front of me, so I'm not going to try to, but just the idea of like, hey, you rebelled, you'll be punished. You rebelled, you'll be punished. Do you think that has any connection to the hard things that the Jews have went through now, or is that completely irrelevant?
No, I don't. When you're talking about, this is my thoughts on the matter. When you're talking about Jews or Israel or Jerusalem, or I don't think anything globally that's happening to them or to those things is irrelevant. It's almost like a stopwatch on prophecy. Like the vast majority of prophecies in Scripture, especially having to do with the return of Christ, seem to focus a lot on Israel, either the geographic location or the people. So I don't think anything about them is irrelevant.
Okay.
That's my opinion. So, like I've always said, if you actually are alive to see a new temple being rebuilt in Jerusalem, you'll probably see the Lord return, or we'll all be nuked before he does. It's that, like, because that's a very literal sign.
Hey, just want to interrupt the podcast here a second to tell you about 5 different jobs I'm trying to fill. Please don't skip ahead. You might not be looking for a job, but maybe you know someone that could fill one of these roles and get connected with me. And that would massively help the podcast because I use the funds for that to keep this thing going. So first job, I'm just going to read these off. This is a full-time project coordinator here in the Fraser Valley, working on capital build projects, the kind where timelines, budgets, and execution actually matter. And you'd be the person taking projects from concept to completion, coordinating sales, leadership, vendors, and customers, and keeping everything on track when things inevitably try to go sideways. So the company I'm working with is looking for 2 years plus experience with real project management experience, ideally construction or industrial. If you're certified as a project management coordinator, that's a bonus, not a requirement, but full-time, permanent, strong ability to and competitive pay, roughly 6 figures depending on your experience. The second one, same industry, but very different seat. This is one I've talked about before on the podcast here. It's the hands-on service technician electrician in the Fraser Valley here on farm service work, some remote support, and a mix of electrical, mechanical, and computerized systems, motors, controls, Ds, PLCs, automated equipment. And so you're installing, troubleshooting, repairing this equipment in poultry farms mainly, talking to customers and solving real problems. There is an on-call rotation to this one. I think it's every 4 weeks. It's just part of service work, but it's organized and supported. And so if your red seal or upper year electrical ticket is a big asset and it's full-time, permanent, with stability and room to grow, it's about $110 $110,000 to $130,000 a year, about 50 hours a week. You get a truck and a phone as well. The guys that are hiring for that, and it's a great role for someone. Okay, number 3, different trade and actually different province. So I'm recruiting for a full-time office administrator with a concrete construction company in southern Alberta. This is a backbone role. Accounting support, billing, payroll, material purchasing, keeping the business side running smoothly behind the scenes. So they want someone who's competent, of course, reliable and organized, ideally with some construction or trades experience, just to understand the industry and what you're doing. It's full-time and based in southern Alberta, and the starting wage would be around $80,000 a year. If you're interested in that, reach out to me on that one as well. Okay, 2 more here, and then we'll get back to the show. 4th role is a senior level trades, helping fill a lead level power and electrical service role based out of Abbotsford. This is for someone with 15 years plus of experience, advanced troubleshooting, preventative maintenance, and technical leadership. So you'd be mentoring other techs, handling complex service work, dealing with customers, and being the calm brain in the room when things get technical. It's full-time, permanent, company vehicle, strong benefits, 4 weeks of vacation, RSP matching, and the pay is $55 to $65 an hour on that. Great company as well, great owners. And the 5th one is actually for the same company. This is a full-time technical service role in Abbotsford for someone earlier in their career, but still solid. Preventative maintenance, mechanical and electrical repairs, customer interaction, documentation. You get a company vehicle, also rotating after-hours calls, but steady professional service work. And they're looking for someone with about 2 years plus experience, hands-on experience, mechanical and electrical troubleshooting, and an electrical ticket, Red Seal, and ASTT background is recommended. Pay is $40 to $50 an hour starting, plus benefits, RSP matching, tool and boot allowance. And so some great companies there. If any of those resonate with you, please reach out to me, Kyle at furiouslycurious.co. You can shoot me a text, 604-703-9045. But maybe you know someone as well. It would really help a lot. Also, if you're listening and none of those jobs resonate with you, but you are looking for a job, reach out to me. I might be able to connect you with someone that way as well. So not just if you're an owner of a company and looking to hire someone, but if you yourself are looking for a job, and I might be able to help you with that. So if you reach out to me, and we can have a chat. Anyways, with that, let's get back to the show. Yeah.
Anyway.
Okay.
Wasn't the last war going to be in that area too? Like
Oh, I don't know.
Guys, I'm always scared of these conversations.
I love them.
No, I know you do. I know you do. But I've gotten into, when you're in church, the weeds. I wouldn't even say the weeds, because I'm not saying it's not important. But people that are excited about eschatology, which is end times. Yeah. For those of you that are listening that don't know, $5 theological word.
The comments are going to pop off.
The comments are going to pop off. No, I mean,
comments are going to pop off.
One guy's an extra chromosome, one guy's dyslexic.
Just completely wrong. No, I'm pretty unhinged today, to be really honest. But the overemphasis people that are passionate about it put on it. In the nut house.
Yeah. Some people
everything's there. About it. Yeah, and I guess
they camp out on stuff.
They camp out on it. And then they very quickly turn it into, if you don't believe what I believe.
Oh, yeah.
And you and I would agree it's a secondary issue, right? It's not a tier 1 issue.
Or a third issue.
Or a third tier issue. Okay. Yeah. Well, so I've always
first. What's first?
The gospel.
The cross.
Yes.
The cross. But I've been convicted, even in these discussions, as I'm debating these people that are railing at me for, not believing in the rapture or whatever, or I don't even have a strong stance on it.
I don't believe in it. No. But
sorry?
I don't believe in this pre-tribulation.
Okay.
Where we all get vacuumed off the planet and avoid suffering. I don't believe that.
No.
Either way.
I think.
Do you believe it, Kyle? Kyle believes it.
Yeah, Kyle would. But he's hoping he gets vacuumed up right now to get out of this conversation with us. No, but I think people that, it obviously matters because it's talked about God's word. So I would never go as far to say, hey, this is not something that can be discussed. But it's when right away they start putting you in the heretic camp. Yeah. And you know what that feels like when you get put in the heretic. It's a disgusting camp.
It's the worst place that anyone could put you in.
Yeah.
And I think it's natural for people to go to these areas because they want to avoid what's most important.
Yes. So that's what I think you're right. That was a great comment. We'll both agree that in this case you're right. And this is where when I have these heated discussions, and this is with people in church, right? Amazing people. And I'll push back on them and I'll saying are you worried about how you're leaving this earth? Or are you worried about where your neighbor's going when they're leaving? Mm-mm. Where's your heart? What are you spending the bulk of your time being concerned about, right? And there again, not that it doesn't matter. I think that's the ditches that we go into when we start saying, hey, this person's crazy. But it was just interesting when you brought up the end times there. It felt like you were going to start telling us what the exact date was going to be, and I was going to leave very quickly.
I don't think I could narrow it down to the day and the hour, but I think I could get one of them. I heard someone say that one time. I don't think I can get it to the day and the hour, but probably the day.
There's a lot of verses about those kind of people.
Testament. Two Sundays ago, Pastor Matt had Matt Shawns had a sermon on a prophecy, and he said, if I said next week Thursday, the world's going to end, who would believe me? He goes, maybe like one or two people. He goes, by next week Friday, no one would believe me. Yeah. Obviously, right? Yeah. And then he talked about the 300 prophecies in the Old Testament that were hundreds of years before Christ. And how much those 300 plus that came true in the New Testament, and how much that proves everything to be true. Yeah. And it's one of the things how he phrased that, and how he showed that, I thought was like really solidified it again, like the fact that Christ is real. Like it's not just one of the options of that you can believe in. It's fully fact.
And it's one of the most powerful things that makes the Bible so unique.
Yes.
Like 200 years. This one here, when I read it, was on, like, I couldn't believe it, right? 200 years before King Cyrus of Persia is born, Isaiah names him. Names King Cyrus as Israel's redeemer, right? Like God's going to use as a redeemer for Israel. 200 years before his birth. Like come on, that's pretty wild.
Wow. Talking about wild, Candace Owens, she's pretty wild.
Oh my goodness. I don't know anything about this woman. No, all I know is she used to knock around with Charlie Kirk on the university scene, right?
Yeah, she did, yeah. I actually met her one time. The same day I met the president.
Okay.
But she is really controversial after Charlie Kirk's death as well, because she's believed that there's all these controversies attached to it. And she actually met with Charlie Kirk's widow yesterday, the day before, I think it is. And so this would be for everyone listening last
like on good terms?
Last week Monday. Well, they needed to hash it out, I guess, what was needed to be
hash what out?
About the controversies around Charlie's death, that it was like an inside job or this or that. But she's labeled as pretty anti-Semitic. And
who is his wife?
Candace Owens.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
And she's kind of gone off the rails in a few areas, but it also people have written in and asked what
she was blaming the Jews. Is that what you're saying? Candace Owens.
Yeah, I don't know 100% actually, because I haven't listened to a lot of her stuff, but I believe that's what she was implying, that would be one of the options.
Like Israel, not the Jewish
right,
people.
Yeah. That's a good differentiator, actually, because people that criticize, just like we criticize the Canadian government, doesn't mean we're anti-Canadian. We can criticize the Israeli government, doesn't mean we're anti-Jewish. Like, I think that is a clear differentiator. But
most people can't understand that nuance. That's why people get in a lot of trouble.
A lot of things people can't understand. But people wrote in and asked what your opinion of her is, and I'm like, I don't really have much of an opinion.
No, Matt does not need an opinion to share an opinion. I don't. That's what I love about Matt.
No, I'm not getting it. Like,
just shoot the
Charlie Kirk thing was tragic. I don't know anything more about it. I don't know how it happened, or is there some like legitimate speculation that it wasn't just a straight up?
No.
From
either way.
I'm not on social media, right?
Well, I am.
Yeah, okay. Go ahead.
I have too much time on Twitter.
Yeah.
I never click on any of the stuff and hear anything that she says, other than, they periodically be in the comment section. I just think when somebody has lost a spouse, in any way, but obviously being shot publicly, just keep your mouth shut.
Yeah.
Keep your mouth shut. Show some respect.
Yeah.
Don't make it about you. And I mean, at the end of the day, yeah.
So did they
throw some money in a GoFundMe for the lady and pray for her and leave it at that. Yeah. Don't start like.
Did they clear it up?
No, I mean the guy's on trial.
No. She's talking about did the women clear it up?
Apparently they're
even that. That lady should be under no duress to have to meet with some outspoken.
Well, I think the only reason she did is because Candace was getting such a huge following with this, because obviously it's clickable, right? Like she has such insane things that's how you get clicks.
Can't stand social
media.
I can't stand social media.
Anyways.
On a more bright side when it comes to life.
Brighter than these shirts?
Brighter than these shirts.
No
Great
way.
Christmas shirts. Last weekend, the Alberta United Conservative Party held its annual general meeting. And at the gathering, the party elected the board of directors. And they set some resolutions up defunding the third trimester abortions, made it to the convention floor, and it got passed. 95% of the delegates, actually closer to 98, voted in favor of the resolution.
So that's 7 and 8 months, right? After 7 months.
Yes. Yeah. So the United Conservative Party now officially opposes public funding for the third trimester abortions. And to our knowledge, the UCP is now the only major political party in Canada, federally or provincially, that officially opposes abortion funding at any stage of pregnancy.
And that's Alberta?
Yeah. Right. Which I think that statement in itself is the craziest statement. That there's one province in all of this Western country.
One party in one province.
One party in one province.
Late term. You're talking late term, right? Not just generally. Like
we're talking term. In the... Which, interestingly enough, if you did a private survey, most people would agree with that. Yeah. Like that's what's wrong with our society. Is that people are bullied into silence.
Well, this is what I was talking about last time. Remember I said society is... This came up before. I cut you off, Gary.
Society what?
Look at his face.
I'm trying really hard not to cut you off because I'm getting bullied on the internet because I'm too mean to you.
Yeah, that's because you're on social media.
Oh yeah, here. This is
Wait, let him finish what he was going to say. I cut him off.
I'm going to interrupt now. Mailbag response. No question.
I need some water.
No question, just feedback.
Oh, you can drink mine, man. This cup never runs out.
No question. A request for Gary to please stop interrupting because it really derails conversations. He needs to start listening in order to understand and stop listening just to respond.
That's fair.
The ones with Matt Keane are amazing and he should be on more. So, hey, you got one fan.
I think that's my wife.
I thought it was you under alias.
Here.
Thank you.
That was,
put it in front of Carl's face.
That was some feedback, but I don't even know where we're at anymore.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter, no.
I'm sorry for cutting you off so much. I apologize.
Anyway, talking about some more provincial stuff. David Eby, 150 million. What's that?
What's that?
So it's connected to the land issue. The fact that
you got to do something about the heat here, man.
Are you hot?
Oh, man, I'm boiling here. And these things don't breathe either.
No, they don't. They're not the greatest running shirts.
Polyester.
And actually, before I talk about David Eby, I want to make a public request to the Salvation Army that next year for the Santa Shuffle, and I know it's part of a bigger Santa Shuffle, and I'm not a leaf licker by any stretch of the imagination, okay? But can we just go away from leaf licking, bean eating vegan, right? It would be somebody that would protect the environment. I'm not one of those people, right? Okay. I believe in, pillaging the earth for oil and gas.
You could have stopped.
But anyways, I digress. Where I'm going with this is these shirts are a one-time use shirt. Like, us three turds are wearing it for the Christmas episode. I want you to go away from this. I want you either just to make a regular t-shirt that people might wear on another occasion, a random t-shirt that says Salvation Army on it, Santa Shuffle, whatever, a little less boastful, or just go completely away from it. You printed off those bibs, those stickers. We could all just put a sticker on. We all know we're on the Santa Shuffle. This feels pretty wasteful. Most of these would end up at Value Village or in the garbage can after one use.
So you t-shirt wouldn't.
No, a regular t-shirt or even a hoodie.
That you could sleep in or something.
Something that somebody would use. But like this is just, you're not going to wear this again, right? Like we're doing dress up here, right?
Nicole threw them away.
Yeah, we threw ours. We had 8 of them.
So you want us to change the shirts?
Yeah, change the shirts or do away with them. We're all going to donate.
Definitely not. We are committed to the shirts.
Okay, we're done talking, David Eby.
I'm kidding. Sure. Pass the feedback along to my wife. Like, it's not me.
No, it's you, man. Who runs the house there?
The major?
Yeah.
No,
who's the
she's the one who buys this stuff, not me.
I can talk.
I don't make these decisions.
Yeah, but you're...
No, I actually think... So Santa Shuffle's not us, right?
No, I know. It's a national thing. I get that. I can see that. It's across the country.
They put out like a...
But you could lead by example. And you guys are good at leading by example.
But I think we buy their shirts.
Yeah, but you don't need to. You can go get... I can help you. I'm a sponsor.
We'll talk about
telling you as a sponsor, okay? I believe in the cause. Salvation Army is a great cause. David Eby.
David Eby is that.
This is the guy that decided to. It's called connected to.
Who is he?
He's the provincial leader in our province in BC.
Okay.
He was a social justice warrior, a lawyer, I think, before he became a politician.
Social justice warrior, lawyer,
and a good. I would argue in some ways, for those less fortunate, we'll give him the benefit of the doubt there. But now he's our premier, and he has zero fiscal skills whatsoever. It's embarrassing. And so now what's happened?
You think he put people around him that can do it?
No, they never do. You have to be extremely mature leader to pick people that are way smarter than you to surround you. Most people will gravitate towards having people that listen to them and don't challenge them because it's very uncomfortable to have people that are way brighter than you questioning what you're doing.
That's the only reason I still got a job. I put people around me that can do it.
I've managed to hire a few simpletons too, but they're getting smarter and smarter as longer I go here.
Anyway, go ahead. David Eby.
They got the land, and I forget the correct term. Is it unidrip, or somebody's just going to be saying the word on the other end of the show here? But there's through the UN. Can you Google it a minute? Through the UN, into the way that we make decisions in BC, we're following this basically this legal framework that was brought in by the UN. Like didn't have to be, but John Horgan, I think he was the premier before David Eby. He's passed away now. He was definitely a better premier than what we have now, but he was a big proponent of this as well. And it's about equality and the idea that basically, and I read the points the other night from this law. What we're basing our laws on is basically, hey, the fact that the natives were here first. They have their own sovereignty, and a lot of those ideas in principle we might agree with. We might be like, hey, you know what, be self-governing, or what does that look like? Well, now we have this area in Richmond where all of a sudden, and you've probably heard about this,
private land ownership
just disappeared, gone, food for dust. And it's interesting because it'll show up in the next public election. People are probably not speaking as vocally about this as they feel, but in the secrecy of the ballot box, it will become very obvious that people, as much as they may be all about reconciliation and truth and all this stuff, they're not about just all of a sudden working for years and 50 years for their property and then giving it away. Most people are going to draw the line there. And so now, instead of him pushing back on the court, there was just literally a BC Supreme Court decision, if I'm not mistaken, that basically that's where the pushback came from, because it was being challenged by the BC government, and the court said, no, you guys are basing it on this principle. This land is not these land. This land belongs to this Cowichan tribe or whatever. So now a friend of mine had started to do some due diligence on how much money these people are getting. They've been getting tens and tens of millions of dollars, and now they're getting their land. This land is arguably in limbo.
So that's not going to be reversed?
It's definitely up for debate right now. So now Eby, instead of pushing back and saying, hey, this is a horrible decision by the courts, he's being a weather vane. Now he's just saying, hey, you know what? The public taxpayer we'll create a private fund of $150 million that will backstop the equity on this land. So now we're going to
What does that do?
Yeah, well, it's a house of cards. Like it'll never end, and it'll eventually... It's just not going to work.
Where does the money come from?
Yeah, where does the money come from? Like, just do all the other landowners in BC say, hey, we're going to it doesn't not how it works. And our whole fiscal system is built on trust. Yeah. And there again, that's something that people that don't understand fiscal policy.
Stop tapping table.
Sorry, it'll put everybody in the house. Get that from my mother. She gets real worked.
So what do you think where do you think we're going to end up with that?
We're going to have a provincial election, and hopefully, well, not for a few years, but it's actually sometimes better if things go really off the rails. That way people really see the full carnage. Sometimes when you have an election
I think we're already pretty off the rails.
No, we're not. No, people are very slow to understand. Most people live in a very small bubble. They're just living.
Go to South Africa. That's off the rails.
Listen, if you own land and then the next day you don't own land,
that's a big deal.
It's a big deal.
That will tear everything
apart. It's a big deal. Mostly because as much as none of us want to admit it, or we don't live this way, most of what we do in our day is attached to finances and the idea that money has value. Yeah. So if you like the fact that, hey, we use our houses for leveraging our bit, like everything is attached to the value.
Not only that, like if the land that you've legally purchased and invested in can just be taken from you.
You're not investing there. You're not investing there.
That's brutal. Yeah. Like that's
why there's going to be a lot of people moving to other provinces. I mean, there already has been the last few years, and that will be exacerbated now. I could see a lot of people saying this is a risky place. No, it's not, because they're not operating on this principle. Did you find the article about?
No, I didn't find the article, but my internet's super slow as well. And so what? And because on the Conservative side, the opposition party, they're falling apart too, right?
It is a gong show. Are you following the One BC? Are you following?
Oh no! I thought you meant federal.
Are you following provincially? No. One BC, the
block. Rostad's gone, or Rustad, whatever his name is. They're getting rid of him.
Yeah. They kicked him out.
Context for the American listeners or other people. So
this is hard to understand.
Right now, BC, I don't get it. David Eby is the premier. He runs it under the NDP, and then there's the opposition party.
NDP is equivalent to the Socialist Party here.
That's right, yeah. And then the opposition party was the one. What was it? What was the opposition party that?
One BC.
One BC. And he just stepped down, the leader.
Well, right? She got canned.
Who? She? It was a he.
That's the Conservative Party. That was the Conservative Party is John Rustad.
Okay, and he stepped down.
Yeah, and then there was two people that had defected from the Conservative Party a while ago.
And became One BC.
And they became One BC.
Okay.
And they had a huge blow up. And apparently, and there again, I've never gotten a straight answer from someone in that camp, but apparently it was literally over one 22-year-old staffer that was either fired or hired, or they disagreed on what should be dealt with him. They called him a Zionist. I didn't know that was a negative term. Why is Zionist a negative term, Matt?
It's essentially extremely pro-Israel, almost at any cost, and anti-Palestinian
Nuke the rest
state.
of the world.
No, just anti-Palestinian state.
And
that's the Zionist position.
Would you agree with the Zionist position?
I don't know. I don't really know. I've not really thought too much about it. Is a two-state solution better? I don't know. So now that I have no idea.
Now that John Rustad's gone, are they going to go back and do like a united, all one party again?
That would be the hope of most of us. Most of us, that would be on, leaning somewhat in that direction, to be like, listen, we know the province we live in. We know the cities, the urban areas in BC are extremely left-leaning.
Who can run for this position, by the way?
Anybody. I've thought of it.
Do it, Gary.
You could too, Matt. You could.
I can't. Not allowed.
You could.
No Salvation Army officers allowed.
Well, you could stop that role. It feels like you're ready for a change.
How hard
anyways.
would it be to do?
I'm not ready for a change.
If I ran, how hard?
It's extremely difficult. Yeah. You think you're thick-skinned until you run for political
and your
office,
family,
right?
Your family's getting under the microscope.
And plus, when you've had a podcast like this, I mean, there's just so much degradation and filth.
I think it would help.
Well, at least you could just say, "Hey, here's the files." Throw in Chat GPT and spit out all the negative things. This guy.
Find all you can. It's all right here.
Yeah, I don't care.
Sounds like he talks about sex a lot. I don't think we want this guy in public office. This is awkward.
Oh my goodness,
we're forbidden from talking about it in this episode. So from the wives.
Yeah,
you just did.
Yeah, you're the one who.
Daryl's Deals, the Save On Foods guy from the radio ads. Daryl's Deals. Have you heard of that guy?
No, hang on. You just went from John Rustad.
Yes.
To Daryl's Deals.
Because Daryl's Deals, the Save On Foods guy, is going to run for the BC Conservative Party.
Oh, okay.
And
that dude, really?
Yeah, he's the president of Jimmy Pattison Group. He's probably fiscally conservative, I would assume. He seems, I don't know if he has skills in his closet. We're going to find out. Yeah, he's seriously considering running, he said.
Okay.
And there's some other solid people running as well.
I think Rustad's problem was that he tried to make it too big of a tent. Everybody...
No, Matt, this is where you're wrong. This is where you're wrong.
All right.
No, the people that are on the 1BC camp, and there's a strong contingent of people, especially after COVID, that are sick of government. They're anti-killing the ostriches.
Yep.
They're not letting anybody touch them with a needle for anything, even if they're dying. I'm going to really label these people. No, there's a whole camp of people that are very far right, for lack of a better word, right? And in Alberta, the province is right-leaning enough that camp can be the united, that party, UCP, and that she can somehow keep them together.
Right.
But in our province, in order to win a provincial election, in my opinion, you need to be a little more center. And that's why the BC Liberals...
Yeah, but I didn't say that. I didn't say anything about that.
Well, I'm telling you, when Gordon Campbell, in my childhood, probably before you were here, Gordon Campbell was the premier, and he was pretty, now there again, he was what we would call center right. And he was probably even more right leaning than most people in that party now. But of course, times have changed. You're not going to win a provincial election, in my opinion, in BC, in our province, without gathering that tent. So you have to have a big tent. Now, there again,
I never said
you just said the 1BC. He said John Rustad.
I said John Rustad's problem was that he went too big of a tent.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't.
I think he actually went too small because he didn't let some of his people have certain views on things, and he would kick him out. Like, you need to have...
I didn't know he did. Who did you do that to?
Well, Dallas Brody. She basically said, and there again, I'm going to go on a rant because I'm going to ask...
You clearly know more about this than I do.
I only follow it, like Dallas...
I follow the federal stuff.
Have you heard of the documentary that she just made, Making a Killing?
No.
Okay, so Dallas Brody, there again, and she's like, it sounds like they're just imploding, which is... good or bad.
Her party or the Conservative
the 1BC party is imploding. They only had 2 MPs and now there's 1. So, when you lost 50% of your party,
So how many votes would she represent?
Way more than what it would seem, because a lot of people that were frustrated with John Rustad not taking more of a stand on things would instantly gravitate towards that party.
Right.
It'd be very similar to the PPC federally.
Yeah.
Be like... But anyways, the whole idea, I guess, is with Dallas Brody is like in my opinion, her whole party was about the talk about First Nations children's deaths at residential schools, how that's not true. It's never been, proven. No bodies have been found, which to my knowledge is true. She's not wrong. But she's made that her entire political platform. And I started watching the documentary the other day, and I haven't finished it, but I watched probably 30, 40 minutes of it. And what I found like, you're allowed to broach that subject. You're allowed to ask the hard questions. She was a lawyer. She was a ironically, a social lawyer for people in Vancouver. But I think when you're dealing with something where children were taken out of a home, and there again, I brought this up with somebody yesterday, and they said, "Oh, the homes they were in were horrible." Blah. But like,
it's not grounds to win anything on.
It's not ground. Like, you're dealing with something so brutal and so gross. There needs to be so much empathy and so much grace.
Yeah.
So yes, you can ask the questions, but don't come across as a social justice warrior. You know what I mean? There was zero empathy in it. It was so much about, hey, we're just going to discredit these people. And there's another guy, he was a school teacher in Abbotsford. There again, like, said, hey, where's the bodies in 2021 back when you weren't even allowed to question anything?
But you're saying they were doing more than just asking questions. They were really camping out and making this an issue to win votes on.
Well, I feel like it a bit, and I feel like the empathy was lost. I feel like, hey, either way, you're allowed to take a serious stand on stuff, but always be loving. And it just felt like there was this smugness of like, and screw everybody. And it was the only issue. It's like, no, this is a big province with many different backgrounds and ethnicities and issues. If you're going to be the leader of our entire province, you're going to represent every community, even if they didn't vote for you. Something that somebody told me a long time ago. And I think a lot of people don't realize that. They're so excited about enshrining their beliefs into law when they get into political power, and there's something about just kind of being.
I think the winning issue right now is just standard of living.
I mean, that's a big thing.
Essentially,
I think the party has to grab like 3 or 4 really major issues and go after those hard.
And what are they?
Standard of living. Everybody's getting poorer. Everybody.
Yeah.
Unless you're
devaluation of money.
It's inflation and all that is
connected to that. Okay.
Yeah. I think the
cut
gap.
Cut government spending.
Huge government bloating. The bureaucracy is just ridiculously bloated.
Medical system.
Oh yeah, that's probably a good one too. Yeah, that's failing.
And then education.
I think we should have 2-tier medical system.
I think the drug.
I think we should have private.
Yes,
the drug problem in BC, most people would agree on right across the board.
How are we going to deal with the drug problem?
But either way, I think before we get to that part, I think if you pick those 4 issues, then let each candidate in wherever they're running have their opinions on everything else, and that can be a free vote. Otherwise, you're going to never have a party where everyone's going to get kicked out. You have what the BCF, the federal Conservatives have now, which is that basically they can't say anything.
That's how it's always been federally. It's been like
worse.
that for a long time.
It's worse than it ever has been.
But the media is grossly
one-sided.
Vindictive.
Like it's I was jumping. I can't even watch CBC anymore. It's just so blatantly one-sided all the time.
Yeah, I mean,
it's ridiculous. Yeah. Anyway, where else are we?
Someone wanted me to jump in and say there's a new
Jumpins. That's a good word.
New Reformed Bookstore coming to Chilliwack. Gary, you know something about this?
What's that?
New Reformed Book. You would love this store.
Yeah, I put it on there.
It's lots of Arminian content.
Nice.
New Reformed Bookstore. Reformed Bookstore coming to Chilliwack. Who's this? Who's doing this?
It's a bookstore entirely devoted to Reform literature.
Yeah. That'd be a
Praise
good bookstore.
the Lord.
Are you being facetious?
I couldn't care less. Like, I would go and enjoy the books, and I'll probably go and, think, oh, they're pretty boring books. I'll buy some. I will ask if they could have other kinds of books.
Yeah, why don't you do that? If these people will do one thing well, it will keep other kinds of books out of the bookstore.
So they're basically just going to sell...
They'll sell great books. Most of the books
you will agree...
Books. I mean, I hate the term.
I don't like the term. I got a lot of books by reformers.
You're pretty much reformed in a lot of ways.
Nice.
Yeah, go listen to that.
No, I'm serious.
I'm dead serious.
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah, I don't mind being
Kyle,
reformed.
do you agree?
Yeah.
I don't mind being reformed as long as I can not be reformed when I want to be.
That's most people.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. That's why they did talk about the second and third tier issues and stay away from the first tier issue.
Yeah.
Don't talk to me about the fact that I don't love Jesus, but talk to me about the fact you need to wear a skirt. Sorry.
You guys are brutal.
I have to cut that piece out.
You might have a stitch or a chip on your shoulder.
Or a log in your eye.
Yeah, or a log
in
your eye.
There's a verse about that.
I definitely have a log in my eye. Yeah. I got lots of logs.
Let me help you take that out, brother. Did you hear what I did there?
No. What'd you do?
Didn't get it, man.
You didn't? That's what the scripture says? Like,
help him take it out. Yeah, I get that part. Yeah.
Before you try and help your brother take it out of his eye, take
it out of your own.
Yeah.
On a more positive note, talking about generosity, I was talking to a guy last week that I used to work with, and he went to a mission trip to Guatemala or someplace, and he was saying that they had challenged him to be generous, not just with his money, but to be generous with love, and to be generous with sharing the gospel. And a lot of times we talk about generosity when it comes to money, right? Like, are you a generous person or not? But there's actually way more things you can be generous with, and it made me. I hadn't really thought about it in thinking about it that way. It'd be like, hey, are we generous with love? Just like it's simple, like loving people. Are we generous with sharing the gospel, or is that like something we're not generous with? And when you use that word when it comes to those things, I think it hits differently, or it did for me anyway. So I thought I'd bring it up, and just as an encouragement for people as well. Like, hey, maybe you can't be super generous with money because things are tight, but you can be generous with other things. You can be generous with your patience. You can be generous with your kindness. You can be generous with, I think the gospel mostly.
I'm going to go back to the bookstore because I put it on the show notes a while ago because I do think a lot of our listeners will really enjoy it, and it is going to have great literature in it. And the best way to support something is obviously go there. And there's a lot of good people that I know that are involved in that have helped start it. I do struggle with the idea of labeling something in that way, and then it's the best, because I just struggle with the wording and the exclusivity of it, but that's not the intent.
I'm still like a little bit surprised that you're not joking. The whole bookstore is just
son of a beater. I tried to bring her back. I tried to land the plane, and you just had to nuke it.
I'm just saying, the whole bookstore is just Reformed.
Listen,
books?
It's not that simple, man. They allow gray areas too, probably. Oh, okay. I would assume, and they would
like Christian living, maybe on like topics of like marriage.
Here's how. Let me phrase it in a positive way.
Yeah,
they are guarding the door to what comes in there in a healthy way, where you would agree.
Yeah,
with most of the literature that's in the bookstore, and you would agree that if you went to a lot of Christian bookstores around the country, there'd be a swath of books there that shouldn't even be on the shelf.
Should be turfed.
Be turfed and burned. So now,
not burned. I mean, we don't need to be
too far. We're not going to burn books. It's a free country.
Books.
You're going to write whatever you want.
I'm a classic liberal, right? Like, let people do
free
whatever.
Free country. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that's it. Anyway,
consequences.
Don't you have family life marriage certificates still? By the way,
yes.
Have people reached out?
Did anybody win? Did anybody win with the worst content? Remember we said whoever gives the best comment, like the most ruthless.
Me and Nicole will go in Victoria in February.
You go?
Yeah, the other people are going to that one. There is one in Victoria, and I have gift certificates from a young guy in my church who gave them to me. Do not need credit for giving them away. And I will get them to you. If you reach out to me, you can text me, call me.
Nice.
Got a website. You can find me. Sweet. I will get them to you.
That's when we're going to do the live event too, right? In February?
In Victoria.
You want to do it there?
No.
Did we get any new feedback?
We got lots.
Like, about what?
We got one here.
Questions?
Mailbag. Yeah, we'll end with this. This is the one that you
did. What time is it?
Yeah, we're going to end.
1 hour.
Oh,
we're
okay.
End. I got to go to the bathroom. This is the longest I've went all day without going to the bathroom. I stopped like 4 times.
Mailbag. This question's kind of all over the place, but I sent it to the group chat. Considering the fact we have a total inability to love and follow Jesus unless God first supernaturally regenerates us.
Didn't we already do this?
We're not going to talk
about this.
We
already did this.
Sorry, Kyle. I don't want to. We're both agreeing that we're cutting you off. This is democracy, this podcast. Pick another thing to end on.
Is there another one?
Other
Is there another question? We just did that kind of question.
We talked about it too much already.
Again.
Same person? Oh, well.
Oh, here's one that came in. Where is it?
Okay, Kyle. See how united we were just then, Gary?
Kyle, not sure if it's been answered on the podcast, but I would love to hear more about women in ministry, especially Matt's response to this.
Did one of you ask that question?
No, we would not set you up like that.
Okay, where do I start? Because this will be something that will grill a lot of people. Yeah, I don't have any problems.
Let's bring out the barbecue, buddy.
Yeah, that's right. I don't have any problems with women in ministry. Mostly because practically, if you exclude women in ministry, it cuts out 50% of the people that can work for the kingdom. So even from a practical level, I don't think it's very smart. I know why people don't like women in ministry. And
hold on. Can I clarify something?
Sure.
Nobody has problems with women in ministry. That's leadership.
We all
agree that women should be in ministry.
All right. So what's the question?
Leadership and preaching.
So that's what specifically they're talking about?
No, that wasn't specifically what I talked about. It was exactly how I read it.
But that's what they meant.
That's
okay, so they're not talking about ministry.
They're not.
Okay.
Because we all agree that women should be in ministry.
Okay. All right.
And the Bible talks about women deacons.
All kinds of women doing ministry.
Are you allowed to admit that? That there are women deacons?
That says in the Bible.
It does say it, yeah. Anyway, okay, so we're talking about women in leadership and preaching.
Yeah.
All right.
That would be what the listener, we're going to assume that's what they meant.
If we assume wrong.
So
we assume everything.
So the question must be then, how do I get around the scripture references? Mm-hmm. Okay, all right. So the scripture references that would address a woman in leadership over a man, I think they're in First Timothy, and there might even be one in First Corinthians, largely. Those are the ones that people camp out on. Paul says, I will not allow a woman to preach or have authority over a man. So there's two ways to look at it on my side. It's Paul was talking directly about the church at Ephesus, I believe. I mean, my memory, I think it was Ephesus. And he was putting Timothy in charge. Go ahead.
Would you like to circle back to this when you've had more time to think about it, or you can answer it right now?
I can do my best.
Okay.
I don't mind circling back.
We'll get some questions in, clarification questions.
Yeah.
And then we'll...
Only because, to be fair to you, if you have to start quoting scripture from all the text... and
I don't think I'm that far off so far.
Okay.
So
no.
So I think Paul was addressing specifically the church in Ephesus because in First Timothy he talks about how widows were wealthier and there were some younger widows that were just gossiping and causing trouble. In fact, I think he even says that they're just stirring up strife. So I think when he when he says to Timothy, who's a very young leader, like Timothy's probably somewhere around 20, and Paul says, I don't allow a woman to teach. I think his opinion was for Timothy to take it on himself to say, or have authority over a man, because it just gets rid of the problem right away. You've got all these gossiping women in the place where you are right now. Take on my model of leadership and just fix the problem. However, he seems to, in other places, like you just suggested, give women, deaconhood, which is a pretty big deal in the church, where they would have authority, or at least some authority. And he tends to favor Chloe and even credits Chloe as having the church at her home, which means she's the one who has authority to have people there. So you could argue that Paul is talking about isolated cases. I don't personally think he is. I would take it like this. Paul is a Pharisee. When he was converted, Paul had huge issues that he had to deal with, just like we do. So look at the way Paul talks about marriage. He's relatively clueless with regards to what he says about why marriage is necessary.
Same as us.
Yeah, that's right. Well, probably same. Well, like, for example, Paul says, if you're burning with lust, essentially, just get married.
That's what I say.
Right? What?
Sorry, Matt.
That's fine. The point is...
You don't agree with that?
I don't think that's the right reason to get married. No,
Shoot.
I don't.
Shoot.
I think there's far more beside. I also think... Anyway, I also think that you have to consider that God has different rules than Paul. Now what? So God certainly put women in leadership over men. Jesus gave the gospel and the direction of evangelism to women. Right? The message of the risen Christ was given to women first in a society where men were often the ones that were put on the pedestals. God put Deborah in charge of Israel. She was a prophetess, and she also had authority to judge the entire nation. So you have in Scripture places where God is the justification for the standard that I hold.
Okay.
So,
question for you. So then the specific text I'm thinking of where
there's lots more, by the way.
Fair enough.
Yep.
And I think we could circle back to it another time. There's probably be a longer discussion than we can have right now. I guess I always felt like the text where it specifically talks about church leadership, would you not agree that those are specifically to men, or you're just thinking it's leaving the women out, like often Scripture does, where it says, do this, brothers do this. And
so the Bible's often written that way. Like, for example, when Paul addresses... I think almost every church other than the church at Philippi, he addresses them with the male vernacular, brethren. But he's talking to everyone.
I guess back on those cases though, in Timothy and where he's speaking about being an elder, I mean, it says a man of one wife. Like, do you think
that's true? That's true.
You would agree that that's pretty specific,
He's
right?
specifically talking there. But again, I think he's going with what he favors, right? So I think this is one of those places where it isn't a central pillar. So you have to be consistent across the board. So when Paul starts talking about how women will be saved through childbirth because they weren't the ones that were they were the ones that were deceived and Adam wasn't. You have to look at that consistency and what is he talking about there?
He's not saying that if you don't have kids, you won't be saved.
Well, I don't think so, but you can draw from it. Like, all I'm saying is you have to be consistent across Scripture. How is it that God and Jesus certainly endorses, supports, and puts women on that pedestal, but Paul, a converted Pharisee, has problems with it?
Okay.
So you have to be honest with Scripture. You just have to be.
I think a lot of people's brains popped.
No, they didn't. Oh, I think that
one guy that left a comment last week, his brain sure popped. But
no, I think that we could most Christians could do a better job realizing, especially in our culture, where Kyle and I come from, that God expects all people to minister. He expects all of us to be disciples. Yep. And I think I think that would be in a relationship with you where I can be challenged, even though we're going to disagree on this, we will definitely disagree. I'll disagree with you. I think that we can always be challenged by people that do disagree with us. So we can wrestle with things and realize that, hey, we all have areas where we could grow in this area.
I will say this.
Okay.
Two things I want to say. Okay. First thing is, this is the least of my worries. Like, for example, I get along, and so does my wife Fiona, get along extremely well, usually with the churches.
With the Dutch Reformed people?
Yeah, but also with the churches that take a more hardline, conservative approach in interpreting Scripture. So often we are very close with the churches that don't like to have women preachers. But the Salvation Army seems to be a bit of a neutral ground. We do. We tend to have great relationships with churches that don't like women in leadership. Because it's the least of my worries. If somebody interprets the Scripture with that kind of hardline, literal lens, I don't care. My bigger concern are the guys that would say, Scripture is no bedrock whatsoever. We can all just interpret whatever we want. But, the Bible isn't a bedrock, right? So a bedrock. Yeah. So the authority is whatever you feel, and those are the ones that are
scary.
Yeah, right? Yeah. So your camp, I don't have much of a problem with, because it's not a first tier, or in my opinion, even a second tier issue. That's the first thing I want to say.
Except for growing up, they would be like, that's a first tier
issue.
Like, it's
no,
hard.
Hang on. Well, it's not. It's not. According to the gospel, it's not.
Well,
right?
I know that.
Okay.
But
the second thing I want to say is, what do you have a problem with, for this person who's asking the question, with a woman preaching? Is it inside the box called the church building that you don't want to have a woman preaching? Or is it on a soapbox outside? Because Jesus saved the woman at the well who was a Samaritan, and she became the very first evangelist that went and told people that he was the Messiah. So, was her preaching wrong? Because that's what she did. So do you mean like inside the church building, a woman shouldn't be preaching? Or do you mean flat out a woman shouldn't be preaching? Because I don't think that's defensible in Scripture at all.
No. And so I look at it like I think I added a bit.
So answer me first. Where?
It'd be in the building is where the people would land on. So I think
which is silly.
No, because how I grew up, there'd be like they would have like a women's event, whatever, and they would invite like only women there, but they would invite the elder to open with prayer.
Okay, but the camp is huge, so I don't like pigeon.
No one else would be allowed.
It's such a broad spectrum of where people land. I think you want to be so careful putting people in a camp there. I think the real heart of it is
that's real though.
He's just short-circuiting one more time.
No, I just think it's funny that. Anyway, go ahead.
No, what do you think's funny?
I think it's funny that you are trying to say we can't be putting people in camp, but I think you're in a camp.
Touche.
Okay.
Touche.
Yeah, that's right.
But the that was awesome. Which camp are you going to be on?
Anyway, keep going.
Feels
keep
like
going.
prison.
Don't put Gary in a box, is what he's saying.
When we get to the kingdom of heaven, we sit at the throne of grace.
We're going to get an education for sure.
Like, I could be wrong about this, right?
All of us.
And the Lord could say, Fiona, I never wanted you preaching.
Yeah.
But thanks. Right? I highly doubt it. Anyway, what were you going to say? We can't end like that. Let's round this out.
Okay, round it.
I was going to round it out. The main thing is for people to be wrestling on what they are called to be doing. And I have spent time in obviously all kinds of churches, from the church where there's not a woman speaking anywhere about anything, which I don't believe is what God's called us to. I don't believe he's called women to. And I feel like in places often where women are extremely strong, I feel like men often abdicate leadership in 100 ways. Men don't lead well spiritually. I've had hundreds of women in my life, cry because their husband's not leading.
Yes.
They want their husband to lead. And it's uncomfortable. If you've never been brought up in a household where you've been taught to do that, like, I feel like I am relatively mature in that area, and I still fall short often at home with my wife, where it's like, hey, I'm not praying for enough. I'm not having those awkward conversations, whatever they are, right?
Yeah.
So when we start when you are a person that's ripping someone theologically, when practically you're not living anything out how the Bible's called you to, shame on you. So that's kind of where I would land. And I know you and your wife have a heart for the Lord and desperately want the lost to be saved. So for me, there's just, there again, I don't agree. I would say that we would interpret differently, and we can be friends. And I think there's great wisdom and great spiritual benefit to have a few friends in your camp that don't agree on every single issue. But when we were brought up, you hung out with only people that agreed on every single issue. And that's why there's 1,000 church splits, because human nature would have it that pretty soon you disagree whether there should be chairs or pews in church.
I just want to point out to our listeners, you said you disagree with me, but you told me that the reason was because of a building. So that's where women aren't allowed to preach, is inside a building.
I said that's where the camp would land. I don't.
Okay.
I'm not.
Okay, fair enough. All right, good enough.
Either way, I think that rounds it out. Good. I love what Gary said. I appreciate everyone listening. I hope you guys have an awesome Merry Christmas. We'll catch you next week.
And if you don't like women preachers, don't listen to them. But go figure out what the gospel is.
Yes.
It's that simple. It's a non-issue for me.
This Chilliwack, there's only a handful. It's pretty easy to avoid.
If you can't listen to a woman preaching, then go to a man who's going to show you the gospel. Just get to the gospel. That's what's important.
See you guys New Year's Eve. Appreciate it.
We should sing "We Wish You a Merry Christmas."
Okay.
We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish Gary Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Hey guys, if you enjoyed that episode and were blessed by it, would you be willing to support the show? That would help a lot in creating more content, improving the quality of the content, putting the production value, getting more guests on, and me being able to spend more time and energy towards it. So if you're interested in doing that, you can click up here and it'll take you to a support page. But you can also subscribe to the podcast by clicking over here and doing that. Thanks again for listening, and I'll catch you on the next one.